next. Well, good day, and I'm here today to talk about another aspect of the recent changes to the Nigerian tax acts, and that is the effect on individual tax rate and the tax-free amounts. And this is somewhat better news, I think, for many people, not all people, than the changes to corporate tax. So the individual tax rate has been quite hard to divine under the current law because of the interaction of the table of rates and the annual exempt amount, the consolidated relief allowance, which worked as a percentage of the profit of the income rather, and therefore was a bit of an iterative calculation. But overall, the effect was that the top rate of income tax was around about 19%. I think it was 19.2, and after a certain amount of income, about 20 million, it came down to 18.96, if I remember the numbers correctly. So broadly speaking, 19%. Now, under the Nigerian Tax Act from January 2026, the rate will be graduated at a different rate, and for the more well-off, the better paid individuals, it'll be an increase because the top rate will be a clear 25%. Instead of having this sliding amount linked to income as being exempt, there'll be a fixed amount that's exempt, 800,000 naira, that is. Every year that will be exempt, and above that there'll be graduated rates. My quick calculations suggested that the tax rate will be higher than the current rate at about 12 million naira a year. So that's the cutoff. Those less than that will be better off. Those on minimum wage, national minimum wage, they'll be exempt from tax on that income. So broadly speaking, we're moving from a position of taxing the relatively poor quite harshly rather, and to taxing the better off or better paid at a rather higher rate. As for companies, capital gains will now be wound into the income tax. So the income tax rate, the marginal rate, will be applying to the capital gains. There are a few allowances which I don't plan to go into here, but there are some things around for things like your rent allowance or the existing allowance for interest on a home construction loan will remain. And there'll be some exemptions around things like selling private cars, selling private houses, all of which have some limitations to them, but at least they're there. So that's the broad effect. For those earning higher amounts, not great news. For those earning lesser amounts, very good news. For those expatriates or people with foreign income, overall not great. And I'll go into that in more detail in a separate discussion and presentation, because that gets quite complicated and nuanced. Okay, and I wish you all happy reading and getting to grips with the new law, and there'll be further talks coming.